we are going to get started because like I said, I want to have enough time for Kristen to share with us today because I think I thought it was really important to bring Kristen in today because as I get, I get closer to the new year, we all get closer to the new year. I like to start thinking about the goals and not resolutions, but goals. And health is always a part of that. So Kristen, I met Kristen, gosh, it's been a year or more, a year and a half maybe. We were in a Centersphere chapter together and started to understand a little bit more about gut health. And not that I'm like super gut healthy right now, but I'm starting to understand the importance of it. And I thought it'd be timely for her to come on and share that with us, especially since she'll share that immune system is very tied to your gut health. So we all are probably making sure we're as healthy as we can be. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kristen. Kristen Hotop she represents Plexus, which is a health and wellness and nutritional company, and she's going to share with us on gut health. So take it away.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you guys all for joining us today. So I did a comprehensive presentation last night for the Oron More. And so we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit more compact, and just still give you some information about gut health, because like Aaron said, it's so key to your overall health and happiness. And I'm going to start with some statistics. So 70 million people in the United States are dealing with some sort of digestion issue. And 50 million Americans have at least one autoimmune disease, of which there are now more than 80. That used to not be a thing. And now we have more than 80 identified autoimmune diseases that have been studied and researched. So why are so many people suffering? To put it simply, not enough people understand how the gut is related to so many different things throughout the body: your health, your happiness, and your immune system. So that's right, Aaron mentioned that here. So 70% of your immune system is located in your gut. So if your gut's not healthy, you will not be healthy. So my purpose today is to share some information. Why is gut health important? We're going to look at some of the causes that get your gut unhealthy, and then some of the steps that you can take, some simple solutions as you're making those New Year's goals to get yourself healthier. So your gut, let's talk about why is gut health important. So I mentioned the immunity. So why do we have to talk about gut health? Well, there is a mass of cells called your microbiome in your gut, and that is made up of more than 3 pounds of bacteria. And so it's over 1,000 different species. And so because it's such a significant, I'm making the shape of a ball because it's similar to a ball, and it can be related to the weight of your brain. So if we're looking at over 3 pounds, it's sometimes called the second brain because it is such a significant mass and part of your body. So your gut microbiome has a direct connection to your brain and makes some of the same chemicals as your brain. So 90% of your serotonin and 50% of your feel-good dopamine are also produced in your gut. So that's why I talk about health and happiness. It's both ends of the spectrum. So it's 70% of your immune system, 90% of your serotonin. If your gut can't do its job, you are not going to be in a good mental state or a good physical state. So that is why gut health is so important. Imbalances in your gut can cause anxiety and other brain disorders as well. And so the science out there has really exploded over the last 10 years. They've now found connections to brain disorders and connections to heart disorders and even connections to cancer from gut imbalances. And so if you're interested in stuff like that, go out and Google it, take a look at those scientific studies that are out there, do a little bit of research, and you'll see how many different things that gut health is related to. So what causes damage to your gut? Well, put it simply, the foods that we eat. So our standard American diet, which if you've ever, a lot of the other countries say we eat the SAD diet, and we do. So it's those processed foods, those sugars, those all of the greasy foods, the gluten, all of those different types of foods can cause damage to your gut. And for some people more than others, depending on what your body makeup is. As those foods, you're eating those foods, those fried foods, processed foods, sugary foods, they're going to cause inflammation in your gut. And inflammation is one of the biggest gut killers. Also damages to your gut, any vitamin deficiencies you might have. Stress is a huge damage to your gut. So whenever you get stressed, your body produces cortisol, and cortisol causes damage to those good bacteria in your gut. So finding ways to reduce that stress, we'll talk about that more in just a minute. And then antibiotics are also a big gut killer. So anti means against, biotic means life. And so if you're talking about being against life, it's going to kill all of the bacteria in your gut, not just the good guys. It can't, unfortunately, it can't go pick out, hey, I'm just going to pick out the bad guys and kill those. No, it's going to kill all the gut bacteria. So then you're having to rebuild that good gut garden. And one round of antibiotics can destroy your gut for up to a year. So it's so important to use sparingly. Make sure you're only using them when absolutely needed for those bacterial infections, because antibiotics don't do anything for viral infections. So just be aware of that out there. And then preservatives. So I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but a preservative is put into a food to kill bacteria and make it last longer. Well, it's still going to be in there when you eat it. So it has the same effect in your gut as antibiotics. So whatever you can do to avoid preservatives and processed foods, you're going to have a healthier gut. So what else can you do? I know we talked about getting healthier for the new year, setting those goals, making those plans. The first thing you got to do is change your mental mindset and your focus around food. So food is not the enemy. You've got to recognize that food is fuel, and then you will start to make those better choices. So recognizing that you definitely don't have to starve yourself, and you don't have to deprive yourself of different things, but getting into the mindset of moderation, getting into the mindset of balancing your meal, making sure you've got a protein, a good fat, and a vegetable will help you as you make those better choices. And so it's the same thing. I think Cheryl mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the plates. Looking at the size of your plate makes a big difference. Plates in the United States are a lot bigger than plates in other countries. And so we have a tendency, whatever size plate we have, we're going to fill the whole thing. And so if you can, choose a smaller plate, and that will also help you make better choices. So a lot of it's mental. A lot of it truly is a mental thing as we're going through. So also on the same line as better eating, you want to avoid low fat foods. Sorry guys, just a second. All right, so those low fat foods, and so this is something that not everybody thinks about. So when they're take out the fats, the full fats out of foods, they lose some of the flavor. And so in order to still make it taste good, they add in sugars. So when you're looking at your foods, take a look at your labels, make sure and check for those added sugars. And if you can, choose the full fat version, but then just eat less of it. So again, having it in that moderation is going to make your overall food choices and your health better. And then also eat less carbs. So I'm not saying to cut out carbs, but whenever you can eat, if you are going to choose carbs, make sure that they're the whole carbs and not the simple carbs where your body can process them in a way that it's going to be fuel for your body and not turned simply into sugar. Next, I mentioned a little bit about reducing stress. So whatever your process is for reducing stress, whether it's exercise, yoga, meditation, just adding in or scheduling in some self-care time, do those things. That will put you in a better mental state and physical state because you will be getting your gut healthy and allowing those good bacteria to survive. And then finally, sleep. So sleep is the time when our body rejuvenates itself. And if you're not getting good sleep, then your body can't heal, because it heals overnight. And so if you're restless, that could be also another indication that maybe there's something going on in your digestion, or maybe it's that gut-brain axis where your brain just can't settle down. And so there's something in there where you can make some changes and some better choices so that you can get that good sleep and be more healthy. So hopefully that gives you guys a good idea of where you want to go as you're setting your New Year's goals, whether you want to be healthier, get more exercise, eat better, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do, but I challenge you to be more healthy in 2021.
Wow, that was great stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that went really quick. Are there any questions?
No, but I'm going to go throw out my Little Debbie snack cakes right now. I'm going to get rid of those. Thank you, though, Kristen. I've heard wonderful stuff, great stuff.
Kristen, what impact does stress cause on the gut?
So when your stress causes you to produce cortisol, and cortisol is it's going to kill off bacteria and other good your gut garden. It's going to damage. So reduce your cortisol, reduce your stress.
I love your advice on, don't necessarily opt for the low fat food, just, opt for the higher fat content, but just eat less of it. Because I've been guilty of that. Oh, it's low fat, so I can eat like 3 helpings of it, So I love that. I didn't think about that. So I'm going to start doing that.
Well, the other thing you talked about was size of plate. And, I think a lot of us are high visual people. So if you ever go through a salad bar, which we're not doing right now, but when you can, they always put out pretty good, most places have pretty good sized plate. What I've done sometimes is taken they also have a salad plate there, is do that and go back a second time rather than take the big plate. Because it's a visual thing. If you got the big plate, let's fill it up.
That is good. That is good stuff. Kristen, thank you
Good information. Really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good,
Yeah.
Kristen.
Thank you.
All right, you guys
thanks,
have a great weekend. Finish strong on your Friday here, and we will be back next week one more time. I don't know if I'll be going into the new year with this because of my new job coming up, but next week might be the last ones, and you don't want to miss it because Aaron Kesters is going to join us and share. So you want a teaser, Aaron, since you're on today?
Sure, and thanks, Kristen. That was awesome. We're going to look at grace in crisis.
Ooh.
So you can think on that and what I might be speaking on.
Wow.
About in crisis.
You do not want to miss. But thank you, Kristen, again for sharing. Reach out to Kristen. I'll be putting this on Facebook, and then you can kind of reach out to her. She's with Plexus, and they have products and nutritionals that can help with that gut health. So thank you again, and we'll see you all hopefully all next week.
See you, everybody.